welcome back. Today we are going to look at the problem with pride. So when it comes to pride, or the problem with pride, is that it keeps us from a close relationship with God, while it also keeps us from seeking forgiveness from others, while it also keeps us from forgiving others, because if you're prideful, then you have a hard time seeing where you've been wrong. It makes us have a hard time of seeking help from others because we think we can do it all on our own. So we're going to take a look at pride today and the areas where it's affecting us and how we can change it to have a closer relationship with God. So we're going to start today in Psalm 138 verse 6, and it reads, "Though the Lord is on high, yet he regards the lowly, but the proud he knows from afar." So the Lord regards the lowly. That means the humble in spirit. So if you're humble in spirit, then the Lord sees you and he's going to recognize you as somebody who's going to seek him, along with seek forgiveness, seek submission to his word, in all the other areas where being humble takes place. But if you're proud, the Lord doesn't recognize you. He knows you from afar. So that's a really big deal. We don't want to be known from afar from the Lord. And also being proud in heart keeps us from seeking the Lord as well. So next we're going to flip over to Proverbs chapter 11 verse 2, and it reads, "When pride comes, then comes shame, but with the humble is wisdom." So if you're humble, you have the wisdom to understand that you've been wrong and you need to go fix a wrong. Or if you're humble enough to say, I need help with something, you're going to go ask for help. Pride comes shame because we don't seek help if we're full of pride, because we think we can handle things on our own. And then with pride, also tells us that if we have pride in our hearts and we've done a wrong, we're not going to go seek to fix the wrong that we've caused. So that's one area that we need to be humble in, is through wisdom of being able to admit your rights and your wrongs and seek help, seek forgiveness, and all those areas that come with being humble in spirit. But when pride comes, then comes shame. So we do not want shame because of our pride. Next, we're going to flip over to Proverbs 21 and verse 4. So Proverbs 21 verse 4 says, "A haughty look, a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked are sin." So having pride in your heart is sin, because it's hard to submit to the will of God and the things that are pleasing to God if we are full of pride, because our pride keeps us from submission. Our pride keeps us from loving the way that we need to love. And our pride keeps us from obedience in all the areas. And also it says it's sin. So it keeps us from that close relationship to God. Next, we're going to flip over to Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 25. So it reads, "He who is proud of heart stirs up strife, but he who trusts in the Lord will be prospered." So pride keeps you from trusting in God. But the humble trust in the Lord. So we want to have that humble spirit that admits when we're wrong, admits that we need help, helps others when we know they need help. We want to have a spirit that is trusting in the will of God, so we're going to be obedient because we're humble enough to know that we're in sin. But if you're prideful, you're not going to be humble. You're going to keep it to yourself and say, I haven't done any wrong. I don't need to seek their forgiveness. They should be forgiving me. But that is pride and that is sin. And we don't want that, but instead we don't want to stir up strife, but we want to trust in God. So pride keeps you from trusting in God. So today I want you to take a heart check of yourself. See the areas where you have possibly been prideful. Maybe it's something at work. Maybe it's with family. Maybe it's some issues with other things in your life. Figure out if there's areas where you can change your heart to a more humble spirit and admit when we're wrong. Seek God. Seek forgiveness of God and others, and seek to have that humble heart that says, I'm going to put God's trust and will above my own wants and desires, because that is what pride is. Pride is putting our own wants and desires above God. So I hope this was helpful for you today. If you're experiencing any sort of pride issues in your life, I would love to help you. There's so many more areas that speak on it. And if you need help or somebody to hold you accountable of, are you being prideful or not, I'm here to help. But as always, I love you, but most importantly, God loves you. And I hope you have a very blessed rest of your week. Bye.